Welcome to your favorite channel, where you'll learn everything you need to know to improve your health and lifestyle. Let's get started.
All right, let's dive into something pretty incredible: the powerful connection between fasting and our body's own built-in renewal program. We're gonna look at the science that explains how just stepping away from food for a bit can trigger this deep internal cleanup. So let's get right into it.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Imagine a system that could automatically find, break down, and then recycle old, worn-out parts to build brand new ones. You know, it sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's actually a fundamental part of our biology, humming along quietly in the background. Every single one of our trillions of cells is basically a tiny, bustling city. You've got power plants, those are the mitochondria, you've got factories turning out proteins, and you've got transportation networks moving everything around. And just like any busy city, all this activity, well, it creates waste.
Right. Because over time, some of that cellular machinery gets a little rusty, a little damaged, or just plain dysfunctional. You get proteins that are misfolded, organelles that are worn out. This is the cellular junk that can start to clog things up, slow us down, and even contribute to aging. So the big question is, how does the city keep itself clean? Well, this brings us to our body's really elegant solution: its very own highly specialized cleanup crew. And this isn't some clumsy process. It's a super sophisticated, tightly regulated quality control system, just waiting to be deployed when the time is right. And that cleanup crew, it has a scientific name: autophagy. It is honestly one of the most fascinating processes happening in our bodies, and it's the absolute key to unlocking many of the deep health benefits of fasting. Okay, so autophagy literally means self-eating. And I know that might sound a little alarming, but it's actually a really precise and incredibly beneficial process. The cell identifies damaged parts, wraps them up, breaks them down into their most basic building blocks, and then, this is the cool part, it recycles those raw materials to build new, healthy components.
And look, this isn't some fringe concept. The research is clear. Autophagy is a crucial process for keeping everything in balance, what scientists call homeostasis, inside our cells. And most importantly for our chat today, it's directly linked to the benefits we see from fasting. So why do we care so much about this? Well, you can think of it as a microscopic fountain of youth. By clearing out all that junk, it helps tune up our cellular power plants, the mitochondria. That makes our cells tougher, more resilient to stress, and it actually slows down the aging process at a cellular level. All of this contributes to what scientists call our health span.
So if autophagy is this amazing, how do we turn it on? Well, the most powerful natural trigger we have is fasting. It acts like a master switch for our metabolism, shifting the body's entire focus away from growth and storage over to conservation and repair. Let's look at exactly how that switch gets flipped. This chart really breaks it down beautifully. On the left, you've got the fed state. That's when we're eating. A pathway called mTOR is active, and the signal to our cells is grow and store. In this state, autophagy is basically switched off. But when we fast, that's the fasted state on the right, everything changes. mTOR gets inhibited. The signal switches to conserve and repair, and boom, that's the green light for autophagy to get to work. It's this really elegant chain reaction, kind of like dominoes. First, your nutrient levels drop. That shuts down the growth engine, mTOR. This, in turn, allows these other repair pathways, like AMPK and sirtuins, to fire up. And that's what finally gives the official go-ahead for autophagy to start its cleanup job. So the takeaway here is huge. Fasting isn't just about giving your digestion a break or saving a few calories. It's about fundamentally rewriting the biochemical instructions being sent to your cells, literally telling them to stop focusing on building and start focusing on maintenance. It's a powerful shift from quantity to quality. Now, this all sounds fantastic in theory, right? But how do we actually know it happens in humans? That's where rigorous scientific research, like the ProFastat clinical trial, comes into the picture. Scientists are working hard to study how to measure and even enhance these effects. And that's a perfectly logical question, because it's not exactly easy. You can't just, take a picture of it happening. Scientists have to use some pretty sophisticated methods to measure what they call autophagic flux, which is the actual rate of recycling. And they often do this by looking for specific markers in blood cells. The ProFastat trial is a perfect example of this. It's a top-tier human study, and it's designed to answer a very specific question: How does a 3-day water-only fast impact autophagy? And can we make that process even more powerful by adding exercise into the mix?
The way they designed this trial is just brilliant. It's called a crossover design. See how everyone does both versions of the experiment? They do the fast only, and they do the fast plus exercise. This is so powerful because each person serves as their own control, which makes the results way more reliable. And they are measuring everything. Of course, the main goal is to measure that autophagic flux we talked about, but they're also looking at body fat, inflammation markers, heart function, even the microbes living in the gut. They are getting a complete 360-degree view of what's happening in the body.
So here's the really clever idea they're testing. Our body stores sugar as something called glycogen, mostly in our muscles and liver. Think of it like a backup fuel tank. Intense exercise burns through that fuel really fast. The researchers think that by emptying that tank with exercise first, the body might flip that repair and recycle switch faster and maybe even more powerfully once the fast begins.
Okay, so let's zoom out and bring this all home. What does a process like autophagy, kicked into gear by things like fasting, mean for the big picture? Well, it's all about moving our focus beyond just lifespan and onto our health span. Health span is such a powerful idea. It's not just about living a long time, it's about living well for a long time. The real goal isn't just to add more years to your life, but to add more life to your years, staying vibrant and functional as you get older. And activating our body's own repair systems is a huge strategy for doing just that. This quote from the researchers really says it all. The ultimate goal here is to figure out how to safely and effectively turn on autophagy. Once we do that, we open up a whole new world for promoting health and maybe even preventing disease. This is really the future of proactive medicine. And just to give you a concrete idea of what this looks like in a lab, here is the exact protocol from the Profasta trial. You can see it involves careful prep, a 3-day water fast with a little bit of vegetable broth allowed if needed, and then, this part is critical, a really slow and gradual refeeding process to get the digestive system going again.
Okay, and I need to be absolutely crystal clear on this point. What you just saw is from a supervised medical trial. These were healthy participants, screened by doctors. It's here so we can see what the science looks like in practice. It is not a set of instructions, and it is definitely not medical advice for anyone to try without professional guidance. And that really leaves us with a fascinating final thought to chew on. You know, we spend so much time and energy focusing on what we eat. But what if the timing, those periods when we choose not to eat, is just as important, if not more so, for unlocking our body's incredible innate power to repair, regenerate, and ultimately build a longer, healthier life?
Here are some tips to help you have a healthy and strong body and mind. Remember that we upload videos every day.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about how to biohack your health span for a longer, healthier life.
This quote really nails it. The goal isn't just more years, it's more good years, you know?
So this brings us to a crucial idea: the difference between your lifespan and your health span.
Get this, on average, we spend 20% of our lives in poor health. The goal is to shrink that. So the big question is, what can we actually do to build a longer, better health span?
We're going to break it down using this idea, the pyramid of longevity. Let's start from the bottom up.
All right, first up is the foundation. These are the absolute non-negotiables for a long and healthy life.
So you've got 5 pillars: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress, and oral health. Nailing these is step 1.
Okay, moving up the pyramid. Now we're talking tools, using science and tech to enhance those basics. And this is really what biohacking is all about: using data to take control of your own biology.
Think about things like wearables, red light therapy, or even VR to really dial in your daily habits.
Then there are specific compounds, backed by data, that can literally support you on a cellular level.
Now for the very top of the pyramid, the scientific frontier. This is where things get really cutting edge. And it's all driven by this one huge question: is aging itself a disease we can actually treat? Scientists are looking at existing drugs, like GLP-1s and others, for their potential anti-aging effects.
One key strategy? Using senolytics to clear out old zombie cells that actually drive the aging process.
Plus,
New diagnostics can measure your biological age and find disease way before you'd ever feel it.
So, the real point here is how to put this all together for your own personalized journey.
Remember the pyramid. Master that foundation first. Then optimize with data. And then explore the frontier with an expert.
So the tools are here. The science exists. The only question left is, how are you going to use them?
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can bring you better content. See you tomorrow with a new video.